everyone. Welcome to my Facebook Live. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to join and then we will start on today's session. So let's see. And whenever you come online, just say hi to me so that I know that you're going to be there. And I know it's a Saturday and the Saturdays and Sundays are like lazy for everyone. And especially with COVID, at least I have forgotten what a weekend means. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for being there. And Saturdays, the weekends, I know are a little kind of lazy and people want to go out. And now that we have restrictions on going out, I guess we'll just sit and chat. So I'm going to start now. So today, I would like to welcome you all to the second session in Manjiri Monologues. You know, when I started the FBLIve sessions last Saturday, I wasn't sure I was going to continue or whether I wanted to continue or whether, what I would do next. But I realized that I just really like talking about my books with all of you. So I'm going to start. And so today's book is Revolt of the Lamebren. And this is my first dystopian book. It's my first fantasy book. And I'm sure many of you know what dystopian means, but just to explain it, it is actually the opposite of utopian. You know what utopian is, right? Utopian is a perfect world where everything is beautiful and everything is perfect. So, and a dystopian world is the exact opposite. So the Google definition of dystopian is actually relating to or denoting an imagined state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. So other than that opinion, I also feel that it dystopian world reflects what the future holds. It reflects our society now, and it kind of is a mirror to what is going to happen in the future. So hi Bipin, and hello everyone, whoever joins, please just say hello so I know you're online. So anyway, so a dystopian world can be very fantastic, completely different from what you might imagine today, or it could be somewhere in between. You could relate with it, like you can, I think, with Revolt of the Lamebren. Anyway, so this is my first book. It's the first book, first dystopian book in a trilogy. The trilogy is called the Superdome Chronicles, and the book for me is very special because there were multiple reasons why I wrote it. And in this book, actually, what I'm really trying to tell is I'm trying to talk about the futuristic reality of friendship, betrayal, survival. Hi, Sarita. Hi, Rujuta. Hi, Pranav. Uh, Thank you for being here, all of you. So anyway, so this book is about friendship, betrayal, survival, and it's not about an alternate reality or an alternate world, but it is about a world that can be if we aren't careful. And talking about all the baser instincts in people, we all have these baser instincts, and in this book they come to the forefront. And what I'm trying to say is that no matter how much progress you do technologically, if you don't deal with things and people and with emotions with your heart, and or you don't think and feel with your heart, we are going to end up being a really fearsome and appalling species, and we're just going to be knowledge capsules of flesh and blood and not real people. And I think we can today see almost the same stage all around us nowadays. Everything is going haywire. Human emotions, love, compassion has gone for a toss. So if we are not careful and if we carry on like this, we may end up in a world like the Revolt of the Lamebren. Anyway, so there is a reason why I wrote this book. It's not because I was a mystery author and then suddenly I said, let me write a dystopian. It wasn't that way. There's a reason why I wrote it. And the reason is that, I'm basically an animal lover, and my entire family, all my families, we're animal lovers. We take care of street dogs. But there was one incident that really shook me. And that incident is, it happened, I think, about 5-6 years ago, or maybe more than that. At that point, dogs were picked up from the streets, and the corporation van usually came and picked them up and took them to the pounds, and they were killed. So this incident happened right in front of my mom's house. We live on Ferguson College Road, and there was this real pregnant dog there. And one afternoon, or was it around late late morning, early afternoon, I had this really horrendous screaming of a dog. And I went out to see what had happened. And there was this heavily pregnant dog who had been flung into the corporation cage van, and she was screaming and squealing. And of course, I was kind of angry, and I spoke to the man who had picked her up and stuff like that. But more importantly, there was this little boy standing there. He must be around, I think, maybe 6 years old or 5 years old, and he was that like knee high, tall, and his hair was like slicked, nicely slicked, oily, slicked down, and very shiny face. And he was looking at this dog in a very gleeful manner. He was enjoying every second of her pain. And I stared at this boy, and I just realized that this boy had no heart. He was just a lump of flesh because he could enjoy somebody's pain so much. And then I just, hello, Gauri. Uh, I just realized that if we are not careful, if we are not compassionate, we are going to end up like this boy, just lumps of flesh with no heart. And then I began thinking that today we consider dogs a nuisance, and we go and we say they're a menace and they're this and that, and we just pick them up and throw them somewhere or remove them from our area or get them poisoned. What if we are in a world where the same thing happens to us? We represent the dogs and or the underdog, and there's somebody higher and better than us, more super brained, who can come and control us and remove us like we mean nothing, like we are a nuisance to them. And that is how I thought of the Revolt of the Lamebren. It's a story that completely reflects this ideology of mine, that everyone has a right to live in this world, whether it's an animal or it's a human being or whatever. Every species has a right to live in the world. So that is the story behind it. But the book is not about dogs. It is about these people called Altklug. So Altklug is a race, a human race, of course, who sometime in the future are born with really superhuman qualities. By superhuman, I don't mean in strength. I mean they're super brained. They're brilliant. At 1 year of age, they know 7 languages. At the second year, they can get jobs. They complete their education and they can get jobs. At third year, that they can marry. So their entire lifespan happens in 15 years, which means when they are 15 and 15 and a half, they are actually human 100 years. So their 1 year is equivalent to 6.5 human years in present times. So their world is a perfect world where everything is controlled. And I'm going to show you a picture of the map of the Superdome, the Ace Altgroup world. It looks something like this. So if you can see it, so it is divided. The Superdome is something like this. It's a map here. It's got 4 quarters, and they're symbolized by fountains. So there's a fountain of justice. There's a fountain of life, fountain of conscience, fountain of death, and fountain of knowledge. And there's a southern quarter, northern quarter, eastern quarter, and western quarter. So it's divided into 4 quarters, and it's an oblong shaped dome, like this, and it is entirely contained within a diaphanous seal, which is like a transparent seal which cuts it off from a snarl, which is actually the forest. So and this is where the entire story happens. Now, so the Altklug are extremely brilliant, and they are super efficient. But when in this world is born a simple normal person like us, like our age or our brains or everything with our heart, and what happens then? So then those people are called lame brains, which means brains with lame brains. And these Lamebren, which are the children, so the Lamebren girl is called a lame girl, and the Lamebren boy is called a lame boy. And they are isolated in a way that they are treated separately because they are born with a tendency to live longer. They don't have the same knowledge, they don't have the same superiority, and so they are also given termination dates because they cannot live beyond a certain age. So when Xenia, who is called G23 in the book, when they're given numbers, not names, when Xenia and her friends are born, they are given termination dates, which means no matter what, they will be killed off at age 15. So that's the backdrop, and of course, Xenia objects to it, and the book is Revolt of the Lamebren. So I'm going to read just a small extract from it. There is also in this book, if you like to know, there is this hierarchy. So when you read the book, you can see that there is this hierarchy in the book, and yeah, sorry. Mm, Can you see it? Anyway, this is the hierarchy of the book, and who's in command, and who's the next in command, and the kind of power they have, and the power they wield over the Lamebren. So I'm going to read just a small extract from the book. It's the first chapter, first page, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Okay, first it was the siren. Just as the snowflakes began to fall uncharacteristically outside the window. And then later, it was the kiss. The siren wailed and moaned, creeping into the tiniest slits of the Altkluk Superdome like a living, breathing entity. It swept into the dome piazzas, into the job galleries, into the labs, through the governor's central quarters, and even through the Paramount baths. Like a snake that had escaped from the Zoltar, slithering between the tiny snowflakes which had no business falling at that hour of the day, and through the conscience. For some precious moments, the Altklugs paused in their work, fleetingly disturbed into a hush. Then they resumed their tasks, their minds already occupied with more pressing matters. Inside the red cabana, Xenia couldn't bear it. The siren continued for a whole minute, and it pierced her head like a painful laser beam. She clapped her hands over her ears to block the tortuous sound, but it filtered through her small fingers and wrapped around her brain, squeezing out all tolerance. A scream rose from her heart, and she wanted to beg for the siren to be stopped, but it moaned obstinately, sucking at her insides, till the tears streamed down her cheeks. When it finally ended, the echoes of the siren refused to ebb from her head. Outside, the snowflakes hugged the ground like a smooth, fluffy carpet, the fall concluding its journey as unpredictably as it had been activated. Later in the day, it was the kiss. Xenia felt as if she was swirled in mid-air and slammed into a dark pit of thorns. She had felt dizzy, shaken, and mentally bruised. And that was when she realized something was really wrong with her, with everything. So that was the first page of the first chapter. Now, obviously, so the book, when I wanted to publish it, there was a bit of an issue because while the central characters were kind of children, 10-year-old children, the issues that I had tried to bring up in the book were very adult-like. Like there was molestation, the politics, there's governance, and all kinds of dark secrets of the alt group world. So whenever I sent it out to any publisher, what happened was that they didn't know where to slot this book. The genre was fine, fantasy, science fiction, but where could they keep the book in the age group? Because it was definitely not for children or the older children featured in it. And then I met a publisher, a young publishing group with a young publisher head, who really took it up. I think more like a challenge. I'm not sure, but I'm going to ask him why he took this book. Today we have with us in the studio the very very dynamic Dipankar Mukherjee. Before I call him on, who is the owner of Readomania, I want to say a few words about him. He's been my publisher for I think 3 years now, and a friend. I go to him for all publishing advice, and he's extremely dynamic. And we met at a lit fest some years ago, and we just hit it off very well. And he's a very good soul at heart. He gives lots of newcomers a chance. So if anybody wants to get their books published, do go to Readomania, and it's a great dynamic publishing house. So I'm going to welcome Dipankar Mukherjee now. Hi, Dipankar.
Hi, Manjiri. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good as we can be in this lockdown.
Very good. I hope you're keeping safe and not
Absolutely.
venturing out too much. Not
No,
venturing out
no,
too much.
not at all. Not at all. We are in a
Okay.
lockdown. Our building is in a containment zone, so we can't move out anywhere.
Oh no. I just hope it's not too close. It's
No,
not
no,
your
no.
immediate neighbor.
No,
Okay.
no, not immediate never.
Okay, great. So welcome to my Facebook Live.
Thank you
And
so much.
yes, so I'm experimenting. So all of us are experimenting with this anyway. So my first question to you is, you're a businessman, right? So you have a business. What made you go into publishing? You know, publishing isn't such a profitable domain, so to say, what with very few people reading. What made you go into publishing?
Okay, that's I think a question a lot of people ask me, that there's no money in publishing, then why are you in publishing? So
Yes.
my answer to all of that is always that not everything is done for money. You also
Yeah.
have a soul, and you have to cater to your soul, and you have to somewhere respond back to what you want to do in life. So publishing was my way of trying to do something for society in return. See, the biggest challenge we have in India right now is that not many good authors get a chance. Most of the publishing houses who are bigger, they prefer people who can be published in 5,000, 10,000 lots, right? Newcomers usually don't get those kind of numbers, and they don't prefer getting newcomers. So then, are these newcomers going to go stay out of the net? No. So my objective of getting Readomania started was, let's give them a chance, and let's make new stars out of people who are already there and have the capability of becoming stars. So that was the whole intent.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So a lot of newcomers have got a chance to read Romania.
Yes,
Well, then, so
absolutely.
how did I fit into Readomania is what I want to know. You took up a book which was generally looked at very suspiciously because it didn't fit in any genre, it didn't fit in any age group. So, what made you take up Revolt of the Lamebren? I think you've frozen Dipankar, but I'm going to wait for him while his internet is working. Is I think, can you see Dipankar? Can you just say yes or something in the comments? Hi, Anita. Well, I think Dipankar has frozen, but anyway, so my question to him will stand. In the meanwhile, I am going to go ahead and till he returns, I will ask the question which I want to ask. You can see, oh, hi, Ruchita, you can see Dipankar, but can you hear him speaking, or is it just me who can't hear him? Well, okay, Dipankar has gone off. So let me, in the meanwhile, ask the question, my quiz question. And and the so Dipankar is trying to reconnect, but let's oh yeah, he's back. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, sorry, you got disconnected, Dipankar.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. The network is
Yeah,
quite
okay.
patchy here. So I got
Yeah,
your
okay.
answer. You wanted to know why did we pick up this book and why did we come to Manjari Prabhu, right? So
That's right.
obviously nobody needs an answer of why did we come to Manjari Prabhu, because you are a star. Okay, so that's
Oh,
already
thank
given.
you.
So
Thank you.
that's there. For the book, uh, when we heard the book, when we saw the book, there was one genuine challenge that we thought through in the beginning, which was, usually the industry fits everything into a genre. Okay, now there is a logic behind it. The reason why it's fit in a genre is because all the bookstores arrange books in genre specific racks, and if you put the wrong book in the wrong place, the reader doesn't get to know that this is the right book for me, and they don't pick it up. So for example, if you put a Ruskin Bond in erotica, a person who doesn't know Ruskin Bond would never pick up Ruskin Bond. So that's the reason people prefer typecast genres. Now that was one challenge that we saw, that this
Hmm.
book, was written from a perspective of adults, yet it was, somewhere had that teen
Yeah,
kind of a touch.
yeah.
But later we realized that the reading levels of India have changed drastically. Okay, so in when we were growing up, what we read at a particular age is now read at a much earlier age in terms of availability and awareness to content. So we decided we'll take it up and see how it works out. And touchwood, for us, the genre was not a problem. There was
Hmm.
another problem, which is a very mindset issue in India, which
Yeah.
we are thankfully now overcoming. Uh, it's like, they will watch a Hollywood movie with a lot of action in it, but the moment you make that a Bollywood movie, they'll say, "अरे ये action थोड़ी ना हो सकता है, तो possible ही नहीं है." So it's
Hmm.
only now people are realizing and opening up to the fact that Indians are capable of writing and doing and working out content which is world class.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I think the challenge worked out, and that's how the book is now doing what it is.
So what is the response like now? I mean, are readers reading that book? Because I know that initially it was a bit of a challenge because not much dystopian has been written in the country.
There is hardly any dystopian, to be honest.
Mm,
Okay, so in
mm,
in fact, in India, people when they think of dystopian, they have only a typecast mind, and they only read something like in 1984. Very
yeah.
strangely true, but that's what it is. So when you go to a bookstore, all you will find is 1984 lying in a dystopian column. So we
George
initially
Orwell's, yeah.
George Orwell's, yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
when initially we launched the book, we took it to all the stores. They had their complete doubts that इसको रखेंगे कहाँ पे, डिस्टोपियन
Mm,
लगता नहीं है, बच्चों के लिए
mm,
है नहीं, बड़े पढ़ेंगे नहीं. So there's a lot of confusion. So we used to go store by store and put it in the right place. We used to put it
yeah.
in fantasy. Okay, and then a lot of people came back and said that अरे ये तो Indian author है, इसको Indian author में डालिए. And when you go to Indian author, what you find there is the romance category.
Mm,
Okay, you find Indian authors for the Indian bookstores is people like Ravinder Singh, people like Duryodhana, so that category. Okay,
mm,
so then I
yeah.
tell them, no, this is by an Indian author, but this is not Indian writing. What you specifically talk about, this is something which is dystopian, futuristic fantasy. Put it there. So as and when the book started getting the right place, we did see the movement pick up. Okay,
Mm,
we did find a lot of issues connecting to people who like fantasy, but I think eventually we found a lot of target audience groups which believe in fantasy, and that's how we started pushing out in the right audience. Very targeted sales. That is what has happened
yeah.
for this book.
Yes, we had to work a lot on the marketing also and
Yes,
find the niche market for it. Although which is really
absolutely.
surprising because we have fans of Hunger Games and all that kind of fiction here. But I think there is also this white against Indian
Yeah,
writers
yeah.
approach here.
Strange mindset. Very strange mindset. So if I hide the name and put the book to them, they'll love the book. Okay,
Yeah,
and then when you take the name, show them the name, say, "Acha, this is an Indian author. We didn't realize that." So
yeah.
that's the kind of mindset people have.
Maybe next time I should have I should take a pen name like Chris Carver or something like that.
I don't think that's required anymore for you now.
Okay. Anyway, so we have two more books coming out in this
Yes,
trilogy.
yes,
I'm still writing it, of course,
yes.
but maybe next year or the year after next, we will have the two books in the thing. So,
And
Dipankar, yeah, you want to say something?
yeah,
You add,
what I'm trying to say is that this particular, there are a lot of elements in the book which people now may find coming as reality. That as and when the power of AI keeps on increasing,
yeah,
there may be an inflection point where we turn over control to AI. Okay, and we become
yes,
subservient to AI. Okay, and that inflection point may not be very far away from us.
that's true. Yeah, so this dystopian anyway is based in reality in the current situation,
Correct.
and so many things that Margaret Atwood or George Orwell have written in their dystopian works have actually come true. So I don't see the Outlook world going anywhere. I feel in the future we are going to be in the Outlook world if we aren't careful. I mean, I've written this book with a conviction. It's a warning. I call it my warning that we need to wake up to reality. So yes, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to ask you a rapid fire, Dipankar. Some fun
Okay.
rapid fire. Yeah. You
Okay.
have 2 seconds to 2 seconds to answer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The first one. Okay. Which is the best book you've published so far?
I think it will be Padmavati by Shutara Basu.
Okay. Fine. All right. Which is the best author you've dealt with so far?
Manjiri Prabhu.
Oh, thank you. Who is the most creative author you met? Don't you dare
Um,
say anybody else other than me.
so there are quite a few of them. So I'll be very okay. So Manjari Prabhu is there. Shatara Basu is there. My editor Indrani Ganguly is very creative. So every time a story
Okay.
comes to her, she brings in a spin to it and keeps talking. We discuss that. Can this spin work? Can that spin work? So
Oh,
so
lovely.
I think these three ladies are very creative. Yes.
Well, my name came as an afterthought, but it's all right.
No, not at all. So, in fact, I'll tell you one more point why your creativity is always on top of the mind, because look at the number of genres you've attempted. Look at the
Yeah.
spread that you've had. You've come out with stories, concepts, theories across the board, across so many elements, and even with a dystopian novel like Revolt, you've
Yeah.
brought out such universal principles. Okay, see, the fight for existence, the primordial need to be alive. That these are universal principles. So be anything the setting, but you brought them out. Okay,
Yeah.
look at astrology in your books. Look at
Yeah.
destination thrillers in your book. So who would
Yeah.
have thought through all of it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So there's no question about you not being creative. Absolutely, you wherever and whichever sphere you are in, you will be in the top-notch category of being creative.
Thank you. I
Oh
really
yeah,
appreciate that.
one more point, very important point.
Yes, tell me.
Which other festival does those walls like Pune Lit Fest does? Every year you pick up one classic author and do an entire wall on it, entire
Yes.
exhibition.
Exhibition. Yes,
That's
we have
such
an
a creative
exhibition on
thought.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who does that? So that's like a real creative person who's working out for that.
Yes, I know. I know. So Farida has a comment. 1 second. So I'm just going to show this comment.
Mhm.
That's a nice comment. Every author, uh, oops, sorry,
Is a visionary
in his
or
own way,
in
for
own
he
way.
describes
And
reality with a dash of imagination. That's true, Farida. That's really true. So
though we,
my
we must say that it should be his or her. You cannot be just he. An author is not he. An author
yeah,
is
it's
he or her.
or she. Yeah, or
Sorry,
she.
here
Yeah,
you she. Yeah.
the universal approach to he, she, whatever. Okay, who's the most frustrating author you've met? The most frustrating author.
He who should not be named.
You feel like tearing your hair, saying this person doesn't understand. Who's that
Absolutely. I
author?
said that he who should not be named. All I can
Oh
say
no,
it's a
no.
he, and the rest is should not be named.
Oh no, no. That's playing it very safe, Dipankar. Anyway. Okay, do you remember the first time we met? And where?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hyderabad Lit Fest,
Okay. And we
and
went shopping.
we went shopping. We went shopping for precious and semi-precious stones in Charminar area, where I was
Yes.
surprised with the knowledge you had about stones. You could pick up any stone and say what that stone is, where it is from, and where it is sourced, and you would question back the shopkeeper in a way the shopkeeper would get intimidated and say, "My God, ये कहाँ से आ गई? ये सब कुछ पता है."
Well, I
Yes,
wasn't
I
that
remember
bad,
that
but
trip.
yes. And I remember actually that was the point where we decided that I would really give Revolt of the Lamebren to you, because do you remember we sat and talked about it, and you
On
said,
the
why
way
don't
back,
you? Yes.
on the way
So
back.
yes. Yeah. Anyway, so that is really great. So Dipankar, it was so great having you on my chat of FBLIve or whatever you want to call it. I hope to
Thank you so
continue
much.
this, and I hope you'll come back again, with some other book of mine, of course. And
Absolutely.
thank you so much. You stay safe, and
You too.
don't go too close to anyone, and keep your distance.
Thank you so much, Manjiri, and have a good
Yeah.
time doing this. It's a lovely show that you're doing.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
So that was Dipankar Mukherjee, and such fun talking to him. I really have lots of good and creative interactions with him. We fight over the cover. We fight over what should we. He's got super marketing plans, and he's going to have a marketing course soon. So maybe some of you who are interested in marketing their books should join that course and could look it up on Facebook. So I am going to wind this up again, and I'm going to repeat my question. The quiz is for a lucky winner who will get a free copy of Revolt of the Lamebren if you answer this right. What is Xenia's number in the book? I hope you can tell me the number. Please message me privately. Don't put it in the comments, because then others can see it. And good luck to you. And thank you so much for being a part of my second Facebook Live. It was super. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm finding my feet. I'm having a great time. I'll see you again next Saturday, and with another book of mine and some stories behind the stories. Bye bye.